Hello, welcome back to youtube.com/snapbolt, and I got another Legacy League for you here, and this is another brew. This is Rug Cascade in Legacy. I'm pretty excited for this one. I've kind of had this brew in my mind for a little while. I've played other versions in the distant past of this deck, and this is what I'm going to try out now. So I'm also going to go in a little bit more of a deck tech. I think people want to see a little bit more of the deck tech, so let me know if you want to see more deck tech or less, but I'm going to go over the deck real quick. So, 20 land base, and we're playing 4 wastelands. So we actually only have 16 lands that produce colored mana, but we can actually tap wasteland for mana for a fair number of our spells, so that's pretty nice. When I originally built the deck, it did not have wasteland, and I just played 20 lands still, and it was just way too many lands. I think adding wasteland just provides a nice avenue of attack. When you don't have it, it just like completely changes the game plan. And then the basic hit that we're trying to cascade into is Ancestral Vision. This is 0 mana, and it's spend 1, spend 4 for 1 blue, and target player draws 3. But if you cast like a Shardless Agent, and then the card you hit is Ancestral Vision, you just get to cast it because it costs 0, because it costs less than Shardless Agent. So you can do things like Brainstorm, put Ancestral Vision back on top, cast Shardless Agent, and then you get to draw 3. You can also just naturally hit Ancestral Vision because you have 8 Cascaders. Then we're playing the classic Ponder, Brainstorm, Forcible package of Legacy. We cannot play Daze because we're playing the 8 Cascade creatures, so cheap counterspells don't work with Cascade because you can't Cascade into a Daze. That doesn't work. So you just aren't able to play Daze in your deck. So that's kind of the downside of this shell, but you also have a lot of power in the fact that like against any other fair deck, just having 8 Cascade spells in your deck, it's kind of hard to answer because Shardless Agent is inherently a 2-for-1. So anytime you cast this, they're going to have to deal with whatever it cascades into and the 2/2 body. So against other control decks that are trying to 1-for-1 you or other fair decks, it can just be rough when you're just cascading over and over and over. And sometimes you're even like Bloodbraid Elf, cascade into Shardless Agent, you get to cast this one, then you cascade again. So earlier when I was just like testing, messing around with the deck, I did go Bloodbraid into Shardless into Ancestral Vision, and that's a pretty nice way to do it. The other new-ish addition to the deck is Dreadhorde Arcanist, and one reason why this card's so sweet is because if Ancestral Vision ends up in your graveyard, you can attack with Arcanist and flash it back. So it's another way to cast Ancestral Vision, but you can also just cast Brainstorm, Ponder, Bolt with Dreadhorde Arcanist. We might even be a little light on cantrips for Arcanist. Like, I might want like 2 Preordain or maybe a Chain Lightning or just like 1 or 2 more 1-mana spells to use with Arcanist might be decent. But right now we don't have them. Another way that we just can close out the game quickly is Goyf. For Goyf, it's not the best in this deck because you don't have like hand disruption making them discard certain permanent types, but it's still a quick way to close out the game, and it can be kind of a must answer. It's just like a 2 mana 4/5, 2 mana 5/6, and the thing is you don't want the curve to be too high because with Ancestral Vision, when you do fire these off and you're drawing 3, you need to be able to deploy the threats, because if you just draw like a bunch of 3 and 4 drops with Ancestral Vision, it can be rough. Then we're playing 2 Oko, 1 Uro. This should potentially be 2 Uro. Maybe I could go down to 3 Goyf, play 2 Uro. But I think in Legacy, you either need to be on a combo deck right now, where you just don't care like what the opponent's doing, or you need to be an Oko and or Uro deck. So like Rug Delver is trip Oko, Snow Control plays Oko and Uro. So these fair decks, I think you just need to play these cards. I think they're just too good to not play. We could also maybe like find room for a 3rd Oko, but then again our curve's getting a little bit higher, and I don't really want to go down on the Cascade spells because that's kind of the game plan of the deck. And then Jace is nice because it can brainstorm as well and put cards back you want to Cascade into for 0 mana if you untap with Jace. But it's also another 4-drop, and 5 4-drops in Legacy is like an insane amount already. So not really planning to do that. And then in the sideboard, I have 2 Force Negation, which does not work with Bloodbraid Elf because you don't want to be able to Cascade into Force Negation. But if we're playing against combo, I do want more interaction. And having Bloodbraid Elf against like fast combo decks doesn't seem very good anyway. So versus those decks, we can potentially side out some or all the Bloodbraid Elves and board in Force Negation. Then we're pretty safe when we go up to 6 Force effects. Submerge is a nice one in this deck. It's if they control a forest and you control an island, it's free to cast, and then you put target creature on top of its owner's library. So really good against elves, also good against lands because you can put Merit Large on top. But the good thing about this in this deck is it's a free spell, and you can't Cascade into it because the converted mana cost is 5. So that's nice. Leyline of the Void, I'm not sure about this. It is nice just to have Leyline because it can be like, I win in certain matchups, like when they're a Reanimator, or if they're a Dredge and you just lead on Leyline. Like against Dredge, I've led Leyline and they just concede. And it doesn't take much. Like if you lead Leyline and then just play a Tarmogoyf, a lot of times that's enough. Or you lead Leyline, play a Dreadhorde Arcanist. It doesn't take much after you Leyline versus some decks to win. So it's just nice to have access to. And then just a smattering of other stuff: Pyroclasm, Ancient Grudge, Trip Red Blast effect, a Force of Vigor, which I'm not sure about, but I think it's just another strong card. Can't really Cascade into it, and it's just so strong right now. We have a fair number of green spells, and a lot of them are kind of clunky, so it's nice just to be able to cast a free spell. And a Sylvan Library against control. And that's the list, and let's just jump right into a Legacy League, shall we? Let's see. Pretty excited for this. In a couple like practice games I did with the deck, I just went 4-0, so we're basically can't lose. All right. Let's fire this off. Hopefully we get some sweet Cascades. Also, a lot of times, like, what's nice in this deck is, like, you just lead turn 1 Ancestral Vision, and then you're just trying to delay the game. So, like, if you're playing threats and they're killing them, or you are able to force a will something, you can just buy time for your Ancestral Vision to go off, and then win that way. This is, like, the main way we win. Another option for building the deck that I was thinking about would be also just to play Crashing Footfalls, or at least have some number of Crashing Footfalls in the board. That's the 0 mana, 1 green, suspend 4. When it comes off suspend, you make 2 4/4s. So I'm not sure. I'm going to keep this hand, but Negator, mulliganing to 5. But yeah, Crashing Footfalls could be another nice thing to Cascade into, something that you can suspend. The thing is, I don't want to go too heavy all in on like the combo. Like we're not an As Foretold deck. We're just a mid-range deck that's sometimes going to hit Ancestral Vision and a lot of times going to suspend it like this. So Inquisition. See if they take Ancestral Vision. I'm assuming they will. And since they mulligan so low, I can also just Wasteland their Urborg. They might not have any more lands, and I can't really do anything else anyway, so I think I'm fine just to slow the game down. I think I'm just going to Wasteland them and go from there. If I can just lock them out from playing spells, it's going to be really good. Let's see if they have another land. Okay, this is land. So I was thinking the Urborg and the Inquisition could certainly be like Black-Green Depths or a lands type of deck, but I think just taking them off a land is still good there on a Mold of 5, because it's likely that they can't function after that. So that's what I went for, and I don't regret it. We'll see that with Inquisition, it probably means they're the more mid-rangey version with like abrupt decays and stuff. Which I'm not sure if it's better for me or not. No, but Caracas might tell me otherwise. So I'm not really sure. I could just fire off a bolt right now, but I don't want to do that. It seems bad to me. I think I'm going to keep a Misty Rainforest to shuffle eventually. I think I can just play Mountain and pass. That could be wrong because they don't know about Mountain, so they knew that's a card I drew. I could have played Volcanic Island. They could also play Wasteland. Oh, there's Depths. Okay, I need to do something. This is not good. I don't think bolting them is really good. If they have another land, they can just make a 20/20. Do I bolt them now? I could bolt them once. I don't know if I'm going to be that mana tight, but I think just bolting them once is fine here. Dreadhorde Arcanist. It's actually pretty good because I can attack with that next turn and flashback Ancestral Vision. If I Shardless Agent, the only bad card I could hit would be Bolt, which I have 2 of. And if I hit Dreadhorde Arcanist, Goyf, Ponder, or Brainstorm, it's not bad. But the opportunity to flashback Ancestral next turn is pretty good. The thing is, if they make a 20/20 end of turn, there's nothing I can really do about that. They might make a 20/20 on their main phase to play around Wasteland, in which case they won't do that because they know about Jace from the Inquisition. I think I'm just going to go a little greedy and go for the Shardless Agent line, because it just provides a little extra value. I think I'm going to get Trop. And I think if they do make a 20/20, I just need to get a good hit on this Cascade. Okay, Dreadhorde Arcanist. So we basically got a free 2/2, because I would have played Dreadhorde Arcanist otherwise. So this is fine. So next turn, I just have to hope they don't have another land, basically. Oh, they had an Elvish Spirit Guide. Okay, so I'm just dead. So the Wasteland turned out to have cost me the game, but they were on a mulligan, and I thought it was a good play, just because I also didn't have much else going on. So I wanted to slow the game down and try to lock them out. So that was rough, but it happens. Now we know what deck they're on too. All right, what do I want here? I don't think they're like a Life from the Loam type of land deck. I think they're more of like black-green Depths type. And I think Bloodbraid is actually okay in this matchup. I think Force is also decent. I have to stop them from what they're doing, and that's a good way to do it. Having Wasteland, I think, for this matchup is huge. I think it's like really, really helpful. So maybe because I'm bringing in Force, I just take out the Bloodbraids. I thought Goyf isn't that great just because all it is the clock. But Bloodbraid is nice, like cascading into Ancestral Vision. Can't side out Jace. Bolt is not great, but they may have stuff like Sylvan Safekeeper that I'm going to need like a lot of bolts for. I think I need to keep in the bolts. This also costs 4 mana. Let's just go with this. Especially because I'm bringing in the Force Negation. I don't want to Bloodbraid Elf into a Force Negation. So let's just try it. Sweet. Because they're just essentially trying to combo. Oh man. 5 lands. I do have a Submerge, which is good. I just don't know if that's good enough. Especially if they're going to be Thought Seizing and stuff. Ogo's also pretty good, but 5 lands. I'm just going to mulligan. Brutal. Can't keep 0 land. Alright, I can keep this. I have to put 2 cards back. I think I put back Goyf land. And then I can just go suspend Ancestral Vision, leave up Force, and then have a couple lands. I think that's the way I win this game. I don't think I win this game by like playing a quick Goyf. Also, do I want to get basics? I don't think I really have that luxury. So I'm just going to go Volk, suspend Ancestral on turn 1. Hopefully they have a hand that's just like hand disruption heavy. Could have been interesting just to put back Force Negation as well and just hope they can't really do much. Because if they're planning to, duress me and stuff anyway, keeping this in hand doesn't really do much. But I don't know, maybe they'll take Force Negation here. They just take Ponder. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty brutal for me. So suspend. Submerge is actually a good one. If they just go for a quick 20/20, I can put it on top. So essentially I can kill it. Elvish Reclaimer, okay. That's also why I need to leave in bolts and needle. I think I just crack Misty and let that resolve. They'll probably name Wasteland, but I can't force it. I don't think. I think I just need to let it resolve. I can also submerge this Reclaimer at some point. I'll just go Trot. Wasteland, yep. No need to submerge this second. Well, I might need to do it because I can't really let them activate that, I don't think. Okay, well this isn't too bad. I'm not going to have Force up, but I'm just going to go submerge here. Puts it on top also, so it takes their draw step as well. They have to just recast it if they want to do that. And then I get to play Dreadhorde Arcanist, so that was a good draw. So now we just need to try to buy time for this Ancestral Vision to come off. 2 more turns. Next turn we get to flashback a Ponder with Arcanist. So we're kind of doing it here. Abrupt Decay. Okay. Yep. But they also didn't get to replay Reclaimer there, which was nice. And next turn Ancestral Vision goes off. At least it's a blue card. Sylvan Scrying. I think I need to force this. I get to refuel, drawing 4 total next turn with Draw Step and Ancestral Vision. They have another land for Reclaimer. I can draw into Bolt though. I have 4 bolts in my deck. And again, I'm drawing 4 cards. They have 2 cards in hand and no part of the combo out yet. Let's cast it, target ourselves, draw 3, Ponder, and a Wasteland. Okay, Wasteland can't be used, so that's pretty bad. Pretty bad 4 cards to draw. Okay, there's Bolt and Sylvan Library. Definitely want to draw both of those. So I'm going to draw Bolt this turn. I'm going to Bolt this right now, and then next turn I'll draw Sylvan Library and play it, and fetch and not draw the Taiga. And I suppose I'll just play Misty Rainforest, Bolt this, and pass. Yeah, so I think drawing Library is going to have to be good enough. I just don't have anything else going on. Opponent doesn't seem to either. So draw library, play land, play library. Hope no second abrupt decay from the opponent, which they could easily have. Looks like they don't. They definitely would have cast it there. Alright, there's Thespian Stage. It's good. You get to see 3 more cards. Suppose I'll just get Taiga. Probably keeping all the cards here no matter what, because I don't think my life total really matters. Yep, I'm going to keep these. Pay 4, pay 4. And then I'll go Ponder right now. I have a chance to win this game. Alright, now I think I'm just drawing Arcanist because I can flashback Ancestral Vision next turn, and I can just play Arcanist and Goyf this turn. That's got to be the best thing I can do. And then next turn I can draw Jace. Shuffle your library, no. Play a land. Let's play a Goyf. And then play an Arcanist. If they have a crop rotation, I think I'm dead. Maybe I should have kept 2 cards in hand to represent like a Force of Will. Looks like they don't have it though. Can they make a 20/20? Lotus Petal, interesting. The Needle Name Wasteland was just brutal. Oh, there's crop rotation. Alright, well they might. Are they going to make it right now? Looks like no. They might make it and try to block one of my creatures, which would be ideal. I think I can just take a bunch of damage again. Keep these in hand. Going to 2 I don't think matters, because I want to find more cards. I don't really have a good answer once this is done. Just flashback Ancestral Vision. Okay. Now if they just make it end of turn, I'm just dead. I don't have any outs. I need to. I guess what I can do is I can play Jace and Brainstorm, and then try to find a second copy of Submerge, which I only have 1 left. I think that's my line. Play Jace. Do I fetch first to try to thin 1 more card? No, I don't think I do, because I can still play another land, so if I Jace into like a Ponder or a Brainstorm, then I can fetch and have another look. So it's Brainstorm. Alright, there's a Brainstorm. So now I can just put back like Wasteland. I don't think this Goyf is ever getting cast. I guess it doesn't really matter. I could also put back like an Ancestral Vision. I just don't think it matters. So put those 2 back, and then fetch. I suppose just get Trop, Brainstorm. Ponder would have been better there, but alright, and no Submerge. I think that's game. That sucks. I go to 1, so I can't even fetch again. So we got by depths. Doesn't feel great, but that's okay. I just needed the second submerge there. GG's. Couldn't find it. I think if we had found it, we were pretty heavily favored, because then I had Submerge and a Force, and then can I kill them next turn? I go Bolt you down to 11, and attack for 4. No, I guess I can't even kill next turn. But I did have a Jace out, and they wouldn't have much going on. Good games. Let's just run it back. This deck is still pretty fun to play. We were kind of spinning our wheels there. We just couldn't quite deal with the 2020. And the needle named Wasteland was just too much. Round 2, we're against Utopia Mycon. And they're on the play. Gonna snap keep this hand. Let's just hope we're against a fair matchup, and this hand looks fantastic. You know, maybe I should have like some Blood Moons or something in the sideboard, even though I only have a couple basics. Could maybe try to fit another fetch or 2 into the mana base. Find our basics. Oh, Tundra Go. It's a good sign for Ancestral Vision. Just going to lead on Vision. Turn 2, I'll probably just deploy Goyf. I could deploy Arcanist, and then I can Brainstorm and then play another Brainstorm. Alright, well, wasn't really expecting Tundra into Wasteland. Vial, okay. Land? Nice. I think I just play Misty Pass. I could play Mountain Pass, because that way I can just leave up Bolt. Not too scared of a port or anything. I think they're probably Esper Vial, and that deck only plays often like 2 Wasteland. Esper Vial is just a deck with all these random creatures, and they play our Recruiter of the Guard, and they just try to like set up these weird locks. Okay, I don't know what I'm against. Oh, I'm against Blue-White Red Spirits, it looks like. Okay, well, I'm happy with the Mountain play too, because I can just Bolt this. Bolt you. I'm probably just slamming an Arcanist here. So yeah, Ancestral Vision should be just fantastic in this matchup. So I could get blue-green, not play around a second Wasteland. I can also just get an island. I can't deploy Goyf that way, but I play around Wasteland a little better, because then next turn, no matter what, I'll be able to ponder. I guess I like that. I don't want to get Wastelanded again. I'm going to get dazed here. I think this is a brew from our opponent. Oh, Force of Will, Pitch Spellcaller, sure. They have 1 card in hand, and they have 2 ends and a vial, and we have an Ancestral Vision going to go off in 2 turns. So I'm feeling pretty heavily favored from here. Is this another Supreme Phantom? An Eidolon, okay. Oh, I have seen this deck a while ago. Okay. And Spirit. Oh, geez. That just wrecks me. I need to like naturally draw a land. Or another removal spell. Jesus Christ. That like wrecks this so hard I need to like draw Bolt. Oh man, I have to just play a blank Ponder. It feels so bad and take 2 damage while doing it. I just lose to these cards with this board state. So, wow, I mean, I'm just like super wrecked, because my Ancestral Vision just gets countered by their Spear into the Labyrinth. And if I just randomly shuffle, I have to hit Bolt, which is like only 3 out of a million cards. And then even if I hit Bolt, I'm not like guaranteed. I guess I am pretty much guaranteed to win, but I'm just not guaranteed to hit Bolt at all. What if over the next 2 turns... What if I just, yeah, I think I just have to draw Misty Rainforest and play a huge Goyf and just ignore this Ancestral Vision. It sucks, but I think this is how I have to play it. I don't get to draw. Then I take 5 more down to 12. I don't even get my Ancestral Vision. And then I draw my Misty Rainforest and I play a Goyf. And then hope that's good enough. And then I'll be down at 10 against their board and hope I can cast a Bloodbraid into a removal spell or something. They force pitched Spell Queller. Okay. So they're just straight up spirits. I think most of their cards are blue and white. Drawing another spirit there is bad for me for sure. I mean, I'll cast it because I want it to go to the graveyard. Oh, I shouldn't have cast it. Just don't think that's worth it, actually. Just gonna get my last basic and play a Goyf. So now I go down to 8. Maybe I shouldn't have cast that Ancestral Vision. Oh, it's 7 because of the fetch. Yeah, probably should have just been at 9 here because they're attacking in the air as well. That just had to be wrong. They took the Vial up to 3. That makes sense because if they draw a 3-drop, they want to be able to deploy it. Okay. Well, I get to Bloodbraid and hopefully hit like Oko or Uro or something of that nature. I think I just Trop here. Not a Brainstorm or Ponder, please. Oh man, I have to take 3 off this. Or take 2. I have to do it. I think I'm dead now, pretty much no matter what I hit. Alright. I guess I can not cast it. And bolt us. Okay, so it's a pretty aggressive Spirits deck. I think this matchup is going to be good for us overall. We just got by their Spirit, basically. But now we know about it. I think these Pyroblasts... I mean, I think a lot of their cards are going to be blue. I think Force of Will is not great. They're probably going to have Cavern of Souls too. You can just play like a fair game. It's kind of awkward with the Pyroblast because if we cascaded them and they don't have blue permanents, it's bad. But we'll just try to keep that in mind. Opponent doesn't have forests. They're like essentially blue-white spirits playing Eidolon as far as I know. I think this looks good. I think we want to just be the better fair deck. This deck could certainly use like a couple more removal spells. When I've played a version of like Legacy Cascade in the past, it was 5-color and I was playing Stoneforge Mystic and I was playing some Thoughtseizes, and you could still build the deck that way, and I've tried to brew it. It's just hard with like finding enough blue cards, and I don't know if you need the other colors as much. Wow, our draw's not been good here. Alright, well I'm going to keep this. Sounds pretty perfect. I think I need to be a little bit more careful with my bolt. I mean, I guess not really. I had to bolt their Spring Phantom. Keep this. I think I can just put Ponder back. Hopefully if I draw any land, I can go Suspend Ancestral Vision, Goyf, Shardless Agent. It's a little greedy to do that, but I'm going to do it. I can also just get an island off this Misty Rainforest. That way I make sure to slam my Goyf on 2. Don't know if I need to get Volk for Bolt. I'll just find another land later. Play it a little bit slower. Because even if they play something like a 1-drop like Mausoleum Wanderer that I could potentially want to kill, I'm still going to want to deploy Goyf first. So let's see. They're just going to play a Vial. Yep. They don't have access to Daze right now. They probably don't have Daze in their deck. They're getting Plateau. Pyroblast. It's not a very good draw. I took a pretty greedy line by bottoming the Ponder over like the Shardless Agent. But if I draw a land here, it just looks like really good for me. Wasteland. Brutal. Plow. Okay. Yeah. Looks like it might have been just greedy by me, and I'm going to lose because of it. Okay, that's great. I'll just pass with Pyroblast and Bolt Up. So they have Plow. Interesting. I'm just going to basically want to Pyroblast any blue threat or thing they play. And then if they play a Spirit of the Labyrinth, I'm going to want to Bolt that. If they don't do anything, I'm just going to untap. Land. Land. Goyf. Oh man, do I play around second Wasteland? I don't think I can. I also have Ancestral Vision coming down. I think I just need to get Taiga, play Goyf, and pass. If they have another Wasteland, it's obviously horrendous for me, but I don't think getting Forest there is really that great of an alternative. Okay, our Goyf's a 2-3 right now. With Ancestral Vision, it becomes a 3-4. Do they have Bolt in their deck? We know they do. Do they have it? They Bolt Goyf and then Violin something in response. And then Violin Eidolon in response. Sure. So I can Bolt this Eidolon if I want. I might need to. Oh, they have another Wasteland. Things are just not breaking our way this league at all. And they have a Spirit. And I can't Bolt it. Alright, we just got like absolutely ranched. Like our draws just did not line up well. I think this matchup, I bet you we win more often than not. But we're dead here. I don't want to cast it. I have to? Okay. I might have misclicked. I might have F2'd one too many times beforehand. I can't Brainstorm because of Spirit. Alright. That felt pretty bad. 0204. Jesus. I know this deck's not great, but it's a lot better than it's shown so far. We're spinning our wheels in round 1. Against that Spirit decks, we just got locked out. Like our draws just again did not line up well at all. See if we can come back for 3-2 or something in this league, but it's not looking good. I mean, we've also just had to mulligan a lot. I don't think this deck should have to mulligan that much because we can keep a lot of hands that are like 1-land ponders. We can keep, you know, 2-land brainstorm hands or 5-land brainstorm hands are decent. But, you know, when it's just like against depths and we're like 5-land Oko, it's not that good. We really need to be doing a little bit more than that. I mean, is this deck worse than Rug Delver? Yeah, for sure, but is it as bad as we've seen? No, I don't think so. And like, I think the Spirits matchup is supposed to be pretty decent for us, just with Bolt, Arcanist, Goyf. Like, we have a lot of good cards in the matchup. But just like the way our draws worked out, and I played a little greedy there on that last one, keeping the Shardless Agent, but also just the double waste, having the opponent having the double wasteland was just so brutal for us. O2 bracket, huh? Just hate being in the O2 bracket and just playing against random stuff. I mean, we've already just played against Spirits and got demolished. But that's just like a Hate Bears type deck, and their Hate Bears were certainly active there. So yeah, they just wrecked us. Another thing I hate about being in the O2 bracket is just you can't find a match because you're trying to be paired against other people who are O2, and a lot of people, when they're at this record, they drop. So kind of sucks. Another option of a way to build the deck is to play cards like Noble Hierarch to try to be a little bit faster. Could actually be decent. Like, what if you play Noble and then maybe a third Oko? It's just rough. I'm not sure you can really do that because a lot of times, like, if your hand is like land, Ancestral Vision, Noble, you're still going to want to suspend Ancestral Vision, and then Noble like becomes pretty bad in that spot. If you play more colors for like Stoneforge Mystic, it's pretty nice because a couple reasons. Stoneforge Mystic's like pretty mana intensive, so it gives you stuff to do with your mana as the game goes longer. Plus, like, Shardless Agent and Bloodbraid Elf are great bodies for holding equipment. Plus, like, Shardless Agent into Stoneforge Mystic is pretty nice. I suppose might as well just give a little preview. I've started trying to like kind of rebrew the deck. This is kind of like similar to what it used to look like. But I just don't think this is quite there yet. There's not that many blue cards for Force. You don't even play Ponder in this version right now. I think if you wanted to play like a 5-color version, you'd probably have to cut Force and maybe not even play Brainstorm and just be more of like a Jund style deck. But that deck certainly needs some work, and I'm not sure it's even good at all. Just because like cascading into an Astrolabe is also not very good. So that's kind of rough. All right, round 3, we're on video is 4, and this hand's not fantastic, but I think I'm gonna keep. We have just a potential of like, you know, Goyf into Shardless or Chancellor. Okay. Do I lead Wasteland? No, I don't want to like even show them that. I'm just gonna lead Misty and pass. We may just be wrecked by Reanimator here. Oh, they might have just F6 their turn, but they might have mistakenly gone to discard 2. They might have done it on purpose as well. Oh, this is Manaless Dredge. Okay. So Leyline's looking good here. Wasteland's not looking good. So I think my line, as bad as it is to go Snow-Covered Island, fetch a Taiga, play Goyf, have it get countered by Chancellor, and then just let them dredge, and then just try to play a Shardless Agent. I don't really see that being a winning proposition, but I think that's where we're at right now. We don't have anything else to play, so I just need to be able to resolve whatever I cascade into next turn. Double Creeping Chill, sure. And a Hogak. And a Bridge. They don't do anything and then they just go to discard again. Leyline's got to be just like really, really good against them. Alright, Shardless Agent, what do I want to hit? Ancestral Vision would be good, and then draw Force. Arcanist or Goyf is also fine. Bolt is what we don't want to hit. Okay. I mean, we're probably going to lose game 1 no matter what here. And then in future games, we basically just mulligan to Leyline no matter what. Like, if we don't have Leyline, the chance that we keep is very, very low. Especially in our opening 7. Like, if we have a good 7 without Leyline, is that going to win? Probably not. They can start Icarid plus Bridge things, which is just going to be hard to overcome. They discard a second Bridge. Jeez. Oh, this is actually interesting. This is the line I'm going to take. I'm going to attack with Shardless Agent. Oh no, I can't attack because then they can block with Narcomoeba. What I have to do is bolt my own Shardless Agent, exile both of their bridges, and then play it Goyf. It's a very weird line, but I'm pretty confident that it's actually correct. Get those out of there. And then go Wasteland, Goyf. And now I can start attacking next turn. I have a 4/5. Still, I mean, this game is going to be tough to win. I think if I Bloodbraid Elf into Oko, that's potentially enough. They hit double Narcomoeba. They cannot Gak yet. They need 2 more creatures to be able to Gak. Oh no, they can Gak. What am I talking about? They have 2 black creatures. They can just delve. So yeah, Bloodbraid Elf into Oko, make Gak a 3/3 is kind of where we're at. Again, I'm not supposed to be able to win game 1 here. Ponder. Let's ponder first. So I mean, I can do the thing of Bloodbraid Elf into Ancestral Vision. But then I'm taking 8 off this Gak. I mean, shuffling seems so bad. Bloodbraid Elf into Ancestral, and then I take 8 off Gak down to 5. And then my hand is going to be like Dreadhorde, Scalding Tarn, 2 blanks on the next turn. I don't think that's good enough, actually. It's just not good enough at this point. I'm just going to shuffle. Try to hit Oko, basically. Goyf. Goyf is actually okay. It's probably not enough. But I think it's better than the Ancestral Vision we would have had. Now Prized Amalgam's coming back as well. I just don't think I can win game 1. If I'm doing any of this stuff without if with a bridge in play, I'm just absolutely crushing. They can't do anything. They probably just have like, I don't even know if they can have Force of Vigor. Let's see. I guess I go like this. So Nether Shadow is just going to come back anyway. Oh, they have a Dread Return. They can Dread Return Flare. And they have Cabal Therapy. So they can Dread Return, Flare, and then hit us for 4. So if I block like this, I take 4. Alright, this is what I have to do. Oh, this is not even good also because they can just bring back Hogak next turn. But I guess I don't really have much of a choice. I mean, I should just concede and go game 2 here. Therapy us. Sure. And then are they going to Dread Return or are they going to wait to Hogak? They can probably Hogak next turn anyway. So they just Flare here. And then next turn they can still Hogak. And then hit us for 8 off a Flare trigger. What they name? They name Days. Okay, so I'm going to... I mean, they should realize Shardless Agent and Bloodbraid, we don't have Days, but I don't think they cared. If I draw Jace, and I can bounce like a Flare after they Dread Return it, maybe I could win that game. I mean, this Prize Amalgam's coming back as well, but if they just Dread Return here and have a 3-3 in play, maybe that's beatable. I wonder how many Dread Returns they have in their deck. Maybe 4? They are Manaless Dredge. Opponent deep in the tank if they should Dread Return the Flare, it looks like. I'm kind of torn, like, if I should side out Bolts or not, and I think I have to. It's kind of cool to do what we did and exile their Bridge from Belows when you kill your own creatures, but that's not going to come up too often, I don't think. I mean, most of the time we're not going to be able to, like, bolt our own thing, and again, we just need to Leyline to win anyway, so... Right, Dread Return. Oh, the Whirlpool Rider. So they're just going for a huge Dread here? Or Dredge here? Don't they not have any Dredgers in the yard right now? Why'd they do that? Why didn't they get Flare back? Oh, because they wanted to get into one of these? I don't know. I'll just cast Brainstorm. Do they have Force of Will in their deck? Oh, they're just dredging a bunch right now in response. There's Bridge, 26 cards in library. Okay. Just Ponder Shuffle most likely. Brainstorm. Brutal. Yeah, I mean, I can save myself the pain and just concede here. Yeah, they have just a bunch of stuff coming back, and they have a bridge now. They can therapy a couple times. I just can't even beat this. Okay. We have a plan, though. We have a plan. Leyline of the Void. Do I also want Force of Will and Force Negation? I think so. Don't think I want Sylvan Library, because I think if I just leave in Force and then just have a Leyline and protect it with Force, I think that's just like going to be good enough. I don't think they can change plans or anything. So I'm just going to go with it like this. I guess Jace isn't that good. Bolt is also real bad. Maybe I just side out Bolt. Keep in Bloodbraid. Yeah. I like this. Do you want to keep in Jace just as a blue card instead of like a Bloodbraid elf? Sure. And can we see Leyline in our opening, please? Okay, snap keep. Leyline into 2-drops. Could get greedy and try to look for some protection for the Leyline, but I don't think I should do that. I could have also not snap kept, but I don't think it matters too much. And they concede the game. See, this is what I'm talking about with Leyline. Sometimes you just need Leyline in in the 75. Even though like something like Grafdigger's Cage, well, I guess we can't really play Cage, but something like Relic or some other graveyard hate that we can find with our Ponder, Brainstorm, Cascades. But I mean, Legacy is real fast, and when you Leyline versus like Reanimator or Dredge, it can be a free win. Okay, now they know potentially about Leyline, but can they beat Leyline plus Force that we're going to have? Can they beat Leyline plus Force that we're going to have? Oh, I'm also supposed to not go on the play there. That was wrong for sure. All right, this is a snap mulligan. They choose to draw. All right, this is another snap mulligan. This hand would be fine versus most opponents, but I think I just need Leyline. All right, there we go. Found it. Keep this hand, and I can put back Wasteland, or I can put back like Wasteland, Brainstorm. Then I only need to find one more land to Oko. All right, let's do it. Wait. Let's see, because if I put back Wasteland, I can also try to ponder. I'm on the play, so I can try to find a blue card. They could have Force of Vigor, but I can try to ponder into a blue card to protect the Leyline. All right, I'm gonna go for that. They can't just concede to Leyline every time, right? They have Force of Vigor. Yeah, I guess they do. I'm laughing because so far the only 2 wins I've had were against Manaless Dredge, where I found Leyline. I mean, with 4 Leylines in your 60-card deck and the London Mulligan rule, if you are willing to mulligan to 1, you're like 98.5% likely to find it. So you can almost always start with it if you want, if you're willing to mulligan down super low. But I guess Leyline just beats that deck. That's why it's in the board. Feels kind of whack, honestly, just because like I want to win a game based on our deck and not just Leyline, but I guess when the opponent plays Manaless Dredge, that's what they ask for, right? great match. Just we basically have no chance to win game 1, and then games 2 and 3 we just find leyline, and the opponent can't win no matter what. Alright, let's see if we can come back a little bit here. Yeah, so I think this deck certainly needs some work. Obviously the mana base isn't in the deck, but that's not hard. Let's see, we have 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 19 blue cards. That's not even that much, honestly. That's just really not much. What if you went like here, and then you could play stuff like, and I don't even know if you can play Uro, but you can play like some Teferi Time Ravelers. You can play more Hand Disruption, go up to 4 Thoughtseize. Might try this kind of configuration out at some point. Just be like super fair 5-color Cascade mid-range. Might also want like a Sword of Feast and Famine. Seems probably worse than the list we're playing, honestly. They mulligan to 6. We're against Timmy Jimmy around 4. I'm gonna mulligan as well. This hand's just not very good. Alright, this one I'll keep. And I won't get too greedy, and I'll just put back one of these 3-drops here. They mulligan to 5. Are we against another unfair deck, or just somebody who's mulliganing a lot? They're on the play. Flooded Strand. And play something? It's going to be a Ponder? Snow-covered Island Astrolabe or Ponder? Okay, I did want to play against Snow Control, so hopefully that's what we're up against. I wanted to try out that matchup. I'm going to go Snow-covered Island Ponder. Oh, never mind. Let's go Ancestral Vision. Can they beat that? I mean, they can counter it. Ponder or Brainstorm, maybe? Astrolabe. Also want to stay ahead on time in this matchup. Goyf? Wasteland. Alright, I'm just going to lead on Ponder because I can shuffle or choose to not shuffle. Alright. Kind of do need another land, but I think I'm just going to go draw the Ponder and then fetch with Tarn, get a Tropical Island, and then play another Ponder. I think their deck is unlikely to have Wasteland. And I think this is the most efficient play. Okay, so now I can set up a Shardless Agent into Ancestral next turn. So if I put Ancestral second, I should be good. Oh no, I have to put it third because I want it to be on top of my library. So, because we're drawing a card for Ponder, then drawing a card for turn. So put Ancestral Vision back, put Brainstorm back, and put Ponder back, or put Mountain back, then draw a card for Ponder. And then next turn, we'll draw the Brainstorm for turn, we'll cast Shardless Agent, and then we'll Ancestral Vision draw 3. So this is kind of why I wanted to face fair matchups, because we can just set up drawing a million cards. Not even going to show Wastelands yet. I don't think there's any reason to. So we know Ancestral Vision is the hit. They can counter it if they want, but then I have another one coming down. Brainstorm right now. Why are they brainstorming right now? They're probably not going to get any non-basics if they can. But having these Wastelands isn't terrible. I mean, we can still just use them to cast Bloodbraid Elves and stuff. Ancestral Vision, target us. It resolves. That's good. And that was actually a pretty good draw 3. No Force of Will, but that's okay. Yeah, this is just snow control. Okay. Coddle's fine. They did get a non-basic, which is good. Something we can wasteland. They're attacking. Interesting. They're going to play Uro here. I want to use a lot of cards out of my hand because I want to clear the way for this second Ancestral Vision, so I won't have to discard when the time comes. I think I'll just start by attacking for 2. Probably going to play Goyf, play Bolt, Wasteland. Most likely is the line. Oh, there's Bloodbraid Elf. I still think I want to use 3 cards rather than 2. I think I'm going to start by attacking. I guess then I also just play Goyf, Wasteland, and leave up Bolt. Oh, they're brainstorming. Are they going to try to flash into Coddle and block? I may even just let that happen. And then bolt their other Coddle. I think this is fine. If they want to trade a Coddle for a 2/2, I think I'm okay with that. They don't want to. Okay, that makes sense. And then I go play Wasteland, play Goyf. Then on their upkeep, or I'll Wasteland this right now, and then on their upkeep I'll bolt a Coddle? Maybe not. Maybe I'll just bolt a Coddle based on their attacks. I'm not in a huge rush. I mean, they could draw a force, but if they are forcing a bolt, that's an Ancestral Vision they're not forcing. Next turn I can just play Bloodbraid Elf. See what they attack with. Nothing. That makes sense. And then I'm going to bolt a Coddle. Is this... Oh, is this Teferi? Alright, it's kind of unfortunate because that completely wrecks our Ancestral Vision. They don't usually play this card, but sometimes they play 1 copy. So we're just getting like our Ancestral Vision just getting like fucking trounced this round, this league. The good news is Teferi even crushes Cascade, so it's just like that is so brutal. Oh god, sucks. There's nothing we can do. We can't play any instants into Teferi either. This card is so good. Just got wrecked. I think I just go Bolt Ice Fang and then try to attack both at Teferi. Yeah, and then I can play Uro as well. Bolt this. See if it gets forced. Then just attack both of these at Teferi. See if they have a plow. Looks like no. That's great. Great news for me. I play Wasteland, play Uro. I mean, even though they were able to counter this Ancestral Vision with their Teferi, I mean, we're still in a pretty reasonable spot this game. I can even Brainstorm right now, right? I didn't play a land. Just Brainstorm right now. Maybe set up a Cascade for this Bloodbraid Elf next turn. Would be nice. Can also just try to Cascade past a land. I think I like that. So I'm going to put back Taiga, and I can just draw the Goyf next turn, I suppose. Oh, I did already play land for turn. Because I wastelanded once, yeah. Okay, well, it's fine. I can still Cascade past that land into a random card. Or I have the option to Brainstorm again first and choose what I hit. Not sure what's better. I think I'm fine to just Cascade into a random card. Okay, they just concede. Sweet. I mean, this should be a good matchup for us, I think. Them having to Fairy Time Ravelers, pretty rough, but we have Red Blasts. Could even bring in, I think I'd just bring in Sylvan Library, board out Force, just go fair. I mean, this is like the matchup I wanted to face. I think just like having Ancestral Vision in your deck against that deck is good because it's like a must counter for them. Plus, we just have Arcanist, Goyf, you know, just like these relatively efficient threats that are also must answers. And then, can we draw some Okos? I'm wanting to put a third Oko in the list. Just 3 mana is a lot. Alright. And let's see. Pretty easy keep here. No Ancestral Vision, but Ponder into Arcanist with a Jace is nice. So they know about the Wastelands. Not expecting them to have Wasteland. They could have Back to Basics or something. I think getting Island here is totally reasonable. I can get non-basics with these if I want. Taiga, Wasteland, Shardless Agent. Interesting. So I can draw 2 of these cards if I want. I think drawing... Maybe I don't need this Taiga. I have a bunch of other lands. Is drawing Wasteland and Shardless Agent above average? I think it is. I think Shardless Agent's good. Again, I'm just trying to play super, super fair. So next turn I'm going Scalding Tarn fetch. I can get a duel most likely. Can even get the Taiga that'll be on top if I want. I can get Volcanic Island. I can get Volcanic Island and then I can get either Taiga or Trop with this one, but there's Astrolabe. Okay, they're just pondering. They're choosing to not shuffle. They're just setting up. They're going to have to deal with this Arcanist because flashing back a Ponder is actually pretty huge value. Shuffle away that Taiga. I think I'll just get Taiga. Then play Arcanist. I don't necessarily need infinite blue sources out. I can just get either a Volk or a Trop, most likely a Trop with the Scalding Tarn. Am I going to play Uro or Oko? Show and Tell. Okay, I was not expecting that at all. Put in Wasteland. I totally misread them. I thought they were just 5-color control. Okay, now we know. Now we know we need Force of Will. Jeez. How did I read that so poorly? I think because Flooded Strand messed me up. I was just thinking they had to be 5-color snow, especially the way they were playing it. So yeah, we got fucking wrecked there. Force of Will, get back in. Maybe Force of Negation, get back in too. I need to stop them from doing their thing. Cut 2 more cards. Goyf does put on pressure. Now they have the Ice Fang Coddle, but oh, they have Oak. They have Teferi too. They might have multiple Teferis. I still don't really want Bolt. I'd rather just have a Clock and Goyf, I think. Yeah, let's try it like this. I don't think I want other stuff. I don't think I want Submerge. Don't think I want Force of Vigor either. I think they're like blue-green Omnitel with Teferi. Alright. Forest, Wasteland is not going to do it. Blue and red cards in my hand. Alright, this I can keep. Put back a Taiga. Pass the turn. I probably am going to want to Brainstorm end of turn. I can find another blue card pretty easily. Or Force of Will. Now I'm really not scared of Wasteland. But I want this in the yard for Arcanist. I want them to have to answer this. And I'm planning to play this next turn. So I think I'll just get Trop. Brainstorm. I can shuffle one card away here. They're forcing this Brainstorm? Wow, that's so good for me. They might think I have a non-functional hand, but I don't. I'm going to get Volk and play Arcanist, and then have Force up. That was an aggressive Force. On a turn 1 Brainstorm. It's not even that good. I was just trying to put it in the yard. Brainstorm? Sure. That's what you're supposed to do against a Brainstorm early. Keeping this Force for something better. If they Force here, do I fight? Probably. That was such an aggressive Force. Show and Tell. They have another Force? No. Right, now I get to Arcanist, Flashback, Brainstorm. Do I want to Ponder first? I think it's... I could Ponder and then Ponder again. I think I just attack and then Brainstorm. Cast it. Okay, that's terrible. So I can put back land, and then I can shuffle and then Ponder. Shuffle. I think I'll just get second Trop. And I'll Ponder right now. Probably just going to deploy Goyf almost no matter what. Hope they don't have another like Show and Tell into combo. Oh man. I mean, I think I want to keep these because having another Force of Will is so good. I'm not going to have it up this turn, but there's no way to do that. So I'll just draw the Ponder. Deploy Goyf. Can't play too scared. I need to like put a clock down too. Because now if they just play a Ponder or something, oh, they Force of Will? What? Was that a blank Show and Tell and they had nothing to put in? They were just trying to draw out a Force of Mind? That was crazy. They forced? Pitching Omni? Oh, they pitched Omni because they don't have another Show and Tell. So they weren't able to force pitch Omni because then they have nothing to put in. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I was like shocked there for a second. I was like, what are they doing? And now we draw a Force, and then I attack with Arcanist, Flashback, Ponder. I know there's a land on top. but I still get to ponder. We'll get 3 cards. Okay, this is actually good enough because I can go land, Shardless Agent, draw the Shardless Agent, and then I can Cascade past the 2 lands. And I have Force of Will still. So this is actually totally reasonable. Shardless Agent. They're fetching in response? Why? They're playing a Coddle? Another Arcanist. Not the perfect hit, but not terrible, I guess. Depending on what we draw. They only have 2 cards in hand. So I'm in a pretty reasonable spot here. I can also ponder and try to hit another 1-drop and just flash back a bunch of spells here. With Arcanists, I'm going to get a little greedy and ponder. Impulse. Okay, it's fine. Deploying this Goyf this turn is actually also pretty enticing. So I want to have a quick clock. Alright, they took a card off Impulse. Oh, there's Oko. So I can draw land, and then I can flashback a Ponder with an Arcanist, and then I can play land Oko. The other option is draw Oko and then have Force of Will up. I'm flashing back Ponder. I don't think I really need Oko. I think I'm just going to end the order. Okay, there's a blue card for Jace. That's good. Now I'm going to attack. Flashback Ponder. Ancestral Vision and another Force of Will. I think that's going to be good enough as well. It's kind of weird, but it'll allow me to next turn have another Force of Will up. So I think that's actually good enough. And I get to deploy Goyf here as well. Then I can just force pitch Ancestral Vision. Are they dead next turn? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So not unless another permanent type goes to the yard. I also can't really tap Ancient Tomb. Alright. Got him. That was so like crazy that they happened to be show and tell. I did not put them on that at all. Coming back, 2 and 2. See if we can 3-2 it. I can't tell you how many times I've 0-2 into 3-2'd. A lot of times. I mean, I guess I've done every combination that you can like think of in the league. I've played a lot of leagues, like 4-1 to Million Leagues, 5-0 to a lot of leagues. I've 4-0'd into lose the last round many, many times. Snap Keep. Ancestral Vision and a Force of Will. Bloodbraid Elf later. We got a lot going on. Delta. Is this going to be some type of combo? Snow-covered island. Astrolabe. I'll let it resolve. See if this is actually snow control this time. don't think I really need to be scared. There's not that many Astrolabe decks that play Wasteland. So I think I'm just going to Scalding Tarn, fetch Volk, suspend Ancestral. Pass the turn. Ponder. Float one, Brainstorm. I'll let it resolve. I know they can Brainstorm shuffle here, but I'm not going to force the blow that. They're probably just going to play a Ponder or an Astrolabe here. Yep. And I'm just going to deploy a Dreadhorde Arcanist. Probably get Trop. They chose to not shuffle. Not great for me, but not terrible. Wasteland. I mean, at least it's a land. It's honestly not the worst. Maybe it can get something in the future, and it's still a land that can help us get to Bloodbraid Elf. Alright. Arcanist go. Next turn I can Ponder and then flash it back with Arcanist. So this Arcanist, even with nothing in the yard right now, is still a pretty reasonable threat. Brainstorm shuffle again, it's fine. I can let them get set up, but trying to counter all the setup is just too hard. Like if I tried to counter the first Brainstorm, they're like probably like, sure, resolves. Next turn Brainstorm again. And then it's just like, that's just too much. It's better to try to counter the relevant cards. Plow on the Arcanist. Oh. Abrupt Decay it? Sure. We also do have this Ancestral coming down eventually. Wasteland. Alright, Ponder. So I can do the trick again, right? I can draw like Force of Will and then draw Brainstorm and then Cascade past the forest. I want to draw Force of Will because I don't really want to Brainstorm right now. Because I'd rather force Pitch Force if I have to. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this seems reasonable. We just look like a weird kind of like Dreadhorde Arcanist mid-range deck, I think, with Ancestral Vision, maybe a weird Delver deck. And the Quadfecta. Oko. Yeah, they probably have a force backup, but I'm going to try. Oh, wow, I'm surprised that resolved, actually. So now I draw the Brainstorm after removing a counter, and then I get to Bloodbraid Elf past that land, which is pretty nice. And when I say past that land, I know the land is on top, so Bloodbraid Elf cannot Cascade into it. So I get to go Bloodbraid Elf and then go past that land that was on top, so I essentially like move it. I don't have to draw it. And now finally I Bloodbraid Elf into Oko. See if they have a Force of Will of their own here, but if they do, I have an Ancestral Vision. Alright, just create a food. And then attack for 3. Just in a fantastic spot here. Worst case scenario, they play Teferi Time Raveler next turn. Best case, they just don't have an answer for my Oko. Also, I mean, yeah, even if they play Teferi Time Raveler, it's not very good on this board. That was such a good hit, obviously. Making me think that I should have... The reason I have 2 and not 3 is because I just don't want to, like... let's say I draw another Bloodbraid Elf. I don't want to Cascade into it, but maybe that's such a small percentage that if I have multiple Bloodbraid Elves, or, I mean, anytime I have an Oko in play and I cast a Bloodbraid, I'm risking cascading into a second Oko. So having 3 is certainly a liability. Just the card is so good that you might want to have it on turn 3 more often. Like, I think Oko is better than Uro in this deck. But I'm on the 2-1 split right now. It should maybe be more. I could cut some Shardless Agents, but that just doesn't seem great. Opponent's probably just stunned by our Bloodbraid Elf into Oko line. They're like, what the hell am I playing against? But they are playing against a brew, and this list is nowhere online. Not at least until I post it on youtube.com/snapbolt. So catch this brew and a lot of other sick brews there. Opponent just still in the tank. Just can't believe that we Bloodbraided Elf into an Oko in Legacy. And our board is Volk, Trop, Wasteland, Wasteland. And then we just Bloodbraid Elf into Oko. Sweet. Like, I love our snow matchup. Like, even when we were against Show and Tell, I like that matchup. These fair matchups, I just like. I mean, I guess Show and Tell is not a fair matchup, but it's not the fastest combo deck. So that buys us some time in order to like kind of set up our own game plan. And this is the art I like on Bloodbraid Elf. Do not play any other art. This art's sick. Don't really like these Wasteland arts. I don't mind these like Magic Online duels. Plow the Bloodbraid Elf. Sure. Maybe they were just actually in the tank on what they were supposed to do. I think they were thinking maybe, am I supposed to plow Bloodbraid or not? They were thinking, do I care about a 2/3? Is this Jace? Why would they fetch first if it's Jace? Okay, there's fucking Teferi. I said worst case scenario, they play Teferi, right? The good news is, with this Bolt, I could probably deal with it. The bad news is our Ancestral Vision gets countered again. Oh, they're bouncing their own Astrolabe. Replaying Astrolabe. I don't know if this card's picking up more steam or if we're just like running into it, getting unlucky. I feel like the latter is true. I can't cast an instant too. This card is just so broken. I mean, if it's that good, you should play it, right? Okay. I'm going to start by making this food a 3/3 and attacking. And if they have another plow for our food, I can bolt the Teferi and then start pondering and stuff. Attack Teferi. I mean, even though they countered this Ancestral Vision, Oko still beats Teferi. Alright. Do I want to ponder using the Trop or the Volk? I think using the Volk is actually better because I might want to play a Goyf. And if I hit... Okay, let's see. This is so brutal because... God damn. I think if I had just tapped the Trop, this 3 would have been so much better because then I can deploy Dreadhorde Arcanist this turn. And then next turn I can Shardless Agent into Ancestral Vision. That being said, I can still do that. I can also just still Brainstorm this turn. Don't really want to... I'm going to go for the Shardless into Ancestral. I think I'm just going to pass. I'm just not going to Brainstorm right now. Next turn, I can just cast Shardless Agent into Ancestral Vision. Opponent doesn't have much going on. I can save this Brainstorm for later. These games are going to go long. Let's make a food to start, attack for 3, and then go for this. I want them to use like whatever resources they have first, if they choose to. They don't. Even if they have a counterspell for this Ancestral, it's okay. Shardless into Ancestral. Could have had a Dreadhorde Arcanist in play already, but because we tap the Volk over the Trop, we don't. Force Negation, Hardcast. Okay. I still get my 2/2. Force Negation is also kind of brutal because having the Ancestral Vision in the heart is actually pretty good. Alright. They likely have another forest. They can get with that. And they go Misty Rainforest, concede the game. What were we drawing over the next couple turns? I mean, they were at 13, so we go make another 3/3. We hit for 8, down to 5, and then we actually have Double Bolt in hand. Can't cast them yet, but then we just deploy Arcanist. We have Brainstorm as well. Like, they were in a really bad spot. I think this matchup is just fantastic for us. So this is how we sideboarded when we thought we were against Snow Control. Take out all the forces, board in 3 red blasts and a Sylvan Library. I think that's right. I don't think I want any forces. Ancient Grudge to deal with their Astrolabe is actually better than you would think, because they're going to fetch basics to play around Wasteland. They saw 2 Wastelands, and they need good mana to like be able to flashback Uro and cast all their spells, cast their plows and stuff. So I'm tempted by the Ancient Grudge, but I think I'm just going to run it like this. Especially just because the Ancient Grudge deals with like 2 Astrolabes, so it's like not really card disadvantage. So I think it's reasonable, but I think it's also fine to just not have it. Also, I didn't realize, but we're going to suck my Wally. Snap, keep this hand. Bad against a Fairy Time Raveler. I honestly don't think they have more than 1. I've never seen that deck play 2 to Fairy Time Ravelers. They have Snow Covered Island Go. Interesting. I think I'm just going to go Scalding Tarn, Trop, Suspend Ancestral. Do I want to play around non-basic hate? Not too hard. T2, I'll probably just go Mountain Slam Goyf. They're going Brainstorm Shuffle, so they probably kept the hand based on just having Brainstorm plus 2 lands and a shuffle effect. They choose to not shuffle yet, but they might later. Now I'm just slamming Goyf into Uro. Kind of playing their game plan. Beat them at their own game plan, huh? Let's try. Uro's a hell of a card, that's for sure. Ooh, maybe I don't play Mountain because of Uro? I don't think I can get that greedy. Gonna need to play this at some point. Rather save the fetch land. Don't really want to show them the Wasteland. If they think they need to get a non-basic for whatever reason, I'd rather Wasteland it. Opponent also taking their time for being a Snow Control player. You really got to play fast with that deck because you can certainly time out. I guess it's not as relevant in like this matchup as it is in the mirror, just because we do have a lot of threats. But like I played a lot of Snow Control. I actually played it just a couple days ago in the Mana Traders Swiss Legacy event. And actually, the event started out well. I started out 4-0, and I lost the 5th round, so I was 4-1. And I won the next round, so I was 5-1, and then I lost the last 2 rounds to not really get shit. If I had gone like 1-1 in the last round, I would have top 16'd, gotten some cash. If I had 2-0'd, I definitely would have top 8'd. And I think 1 or 2 X2s made top 8. So I was pretty close to top 8ing. I just 0-2'd the last 2 rounds, but I played 5-color Snow Control. I almost jammed a Teferi Time Raveler last second into my list, but I couldn't quite find room. Played 6 forces, just a pretty standard list. Okay, they'll let our suspend trigger resolve eventually. See what I draw, but I think I'm just going to go Mountain into Goyf. Then play an Uro on turn 3. We'll see if our Goyf gets plowed or if it gets Force of Willed. Right now, I'm actually going to go for like Island into Goyf because maybe I can play an earlier Uro otherwise. I'm not sure if it matters, but I think using a fetch land now is fine, especially since I just drew another one. I'm just going to F6. I don't care really if they know I don't have force. I think the value of just like playing super fast is better, honestly, than trying to represent force. I'm just a huge fan of playing like really, really fast and always being ahead on time. Losing like to time is just like the worst thing. The farther, like, also by playing super fast, you honestly don't give like the opponent any time to think during your priority. So there's also value in that. Like any opponent that's going to want to think a lot, you don't want to let them do it during your clock. So by playing fast, they take even more of their clock. See if this is Plains Plow. If it is, that's fine. I just don't want to see Teferi Time Raveler coming down and countering this Uro for free. No Plow. Let's see if they Oko here. They do. Resolves. Not even F6ing here, but okay, Oko at 6. The problem is there's already an instant in the yard for Goyf, so I need to draw a sorcery. I guess I can just Uro into Bolt and take Oko out. I think that's the line. So I think now I want to save this Misty for this Brainstorm. So I'm going to go Wasteland, play Uro. If they counter it, okay, they're F6. So it looks like I'm going to probably be able to take out this Oko. I'm going to try to go fast before they change their mind. They might have sided out all their forces too. Nice, that was great for me. Now we have a 4-5 Goyf. And we can play Bloodbraid next turn. And then Ancestral Vision comes off the turn after that. So yeah, I think this matchup is just really good for us. Things just really didn't break our way in rounds 1 and 2. Hope y'all, I mean, anybody watching now, I'm obviously stuck around, but if you stuck around, I'm glad because this is like really what I wanted to show from the deck. Bloodbraid, let's Cascade, Ancestral Vision, Goyf. Goyf is fine. Then attack for 7. Then I'm just going to play Misty Rainforest. They might have a Coddle here, but Gonna have to play through those at some point. At least this other Goyf will be a 5/6 now. And we still do have Ancestral Vision coming down. Wow, they're gaining 3. I don't know if I... Oh, I misclicked. I meant to play another land, and now I can't flashback Uro. That sucks. Narset. God damn it. Now I can't even brainstorm in response to that. Misclicks just like compound. Like, they're so bad. Like, I just pressed 1. Pressed OK one too many times there. Got wrecked for it. Now my Ancestral gets countered again. Just sucks. Suppose I'll cast it. Alright, there's a Bloodbraid elf. I mean, that's good, right? Let's just cast it. Maybe because of Ponder and Brainstorm, I should have done this post-combat, because now I don't get to draw off Ponder. So this is pretty bad. What I can do, though, here is... Yeah, because I missed the land drop, I also can't play another land here. I think I'll just draw these. These have to be good enough. I'm not worried about some type of fatal push or something. Just gonna do this. Oh yeah, we don't even draw, so I think I even stacked those in the wrong order. So yeah, not playing a land there for that Brainstorm may have cost me. Alright, so they just Dead of Winter, killing both of our Bloodbraids. That's good, but I mean, if they have another Ice Fang, it is really good. Alright, I'm just gonna let it resolve. And there's a Ponder. Okay. I was like thinking, why is it going for 1/2? It's like because of the Dead of Winter, obviously. That Narset really just wrecked us. I also played pretty poorly. I could have played the Bloodbraid Elf post-combat. Just got a little greedy, I suppose. Would have been good, obviously, if I hit like an Oko or something. Or a Goyf, or even a Dreadhorde Arcanist. But I could have also hit Ancestral Vision there, so I should have definitely cast that post-combat. Just a mistake. It cost me a card. I chose to not shuffle. That's not ideal for me. And now I even have my... I was thinking I even draw up that last Ponder. I'm going to just start by attacking. If they want to plow the Goyf, they can. And honestly, I'm probably just going to... I can just try to escape Uro here. Or I can Brainstorm into Shardless Agent, which is probably best. Around a Force of Will. Because if Uro just gets forced, I have nothing on board. So I think I am going to go for the Brainstorm into Shardless Agent, most likely. I think they're determining if they want to fetch a basic Plains and plow this. I think if they can, they should. Otherwise, I am just going to commit as much to the board as I can. A little sloppy in this game here, but I still think favored in the match overall. And in this game overall, I think I'm favored, and even going game 3, I think we're in a good position. We're way ahead on time. And I think our list is just good in this matchup. Not sure if they're playing another match or just really taking their time. I mean, I probably should have taken more time because I have misplayed a couple times and misclicked a couple times in this match already, in this game. This is why Wasteland's like so nice in this deck compared to something like Delver, because it actually casts a lot of our spells. Alright. I'm gonna go Brainstorm. I can put back land, or I can put back Arcanist to Cascade into. But I think I like... I think I like putting back land, and just shuffling those lands away. It's a little awkward because I would get to Cascade past stuff potentially anyway, but I don't have the mana. So I think I get Volk. And play a blank Shardless Agent here. Wait, did I mistap? I did. Cascade. Sylvan Library? Sure. That's going to be tough for them to beat, I think. Just because next turn I can take 8, draw 2 additional cards. Yeah, this matchup is just really nice. Opponent at 4. We have a 5/6 Goyf that they have to deal with. Carpet of Flowers. Okay, they can add 3 mana. We also have an Uro in the yard still. They do not have an Uro at the moment. They're probably going main 2, gonna add 3 mana. That's fine. This card's insane though. Like right now it's 1 mana and then main 2 add 3 mana. That's so good. Of any color. Oh, what is this? Oh, just Oko? Okay. Don't think that's going to be enough right here. Like, they can food go up to 7, but we have 7 points. Okay, they make Goyf a 3/3. Oh, then they Dead of Winter? Okay. That's fine. Dog comes in to say goodnight every night, like usual. And let's use the library. And I think I'll just keep all these cards. Pay 4, pay 4. Let's see. I can just go fetch with Scalding Tarn, play Uro. I can also lead on Brainstorm. And then not Uro this turn and deploy multiple Arcanists. I think that's best against the opponent's board. So I'm going to lead on Brainstorm. Alright, there's Oko, which is nice. So I can just ignore this Ancestral Vision for now, I think. Put back 2 things. Play land. I think I play Oko now. And then I'll play Dreadhorde Arcanist. I'll create a food. And then go fetch. Get Trop. Play Arcanist. And this puts them just like really dead here. We even have a Bolt in the yard, so they can't play a fetch land. Sure, they can add mana with their Carpet of Flowers. They have an Uro here. We can still lose this game, but looking okay. Abrupt Decay our Oko, sure. Another Abrupt Decay on our Arcanist, okay. They're still at 4. And they make a food token and play a Plague Engineer. They're going to name Wizard. So now I'm at the point where I can flashback an Oko or escape an arrow. Flashback an Oko. Yeah, that makes sense. Wizard. Okay, so this will be 0 power for now. See, I don't want to go too low on this. Ancestral Vision and a Goyf. There is an Ancestral Vision in the yard already. Let's go top. Let's just go escape Uro. And then I can also deploy Goyf. Land, just get these most of these lands out of here. I'll get a Goyf and an Arcanist out of there. Doesn't really matter. Just don't want my Goyf to be smaller. Sure, I'll put Wasteland into play. And then I'll Arcanist. Go ahead. It is an O2 Arcanist for now, but if I'm able to deal with that Plague Engineer, it'll be better than that. They may have to Elk my Uro here as well. And if they ever go to 3, then they're dead. I guess we only have one more Bolt in our deck. Oh, they exchange control of the Arcanist and play another Plague Engineer. Okay. They're kind of doing it. Oh, they go to 3. Wow. They have 0 cards in hand, though. There's Bolt. Okay, so I just keep now. They have 0 cards. Keep. And I don't think there's anything they can do. Got him. 0-2 into 3-2. Not bad. I'll pull the list back up real quick. Here's the list. I actually was pretty happy with it. I do like the ley lines, just because, again, in Legacy, you really need like the powerful sideboard cards that maybe are a little bit more narrow, that are just like steal games. Like, it allowed us to just like beat Manaless Dredge, whereas if we had stuff like Relic of Progenitus, maybe we still lose that matchup anyway. And it's like, why are you having these sideboard cards where you maybe lose anyway? You need to have the ones that if you hit, you win. Or at least are much more likely to win. Moving forward with the deck, I would honestly try to run it back. It felt pretty decent. Might want to try to find some way to cut down on some of these expensive cards, but at the same time, run more copies of Uro and Oko just because they're so good. So like maybe go down on Bloodbraid Elf, as much as I hate to say it. Maybe cut the Jace, play another Uro, maybe cut a Shardless Agent or 2, play some more Okos and Uros. But I like the list as is. Sideboard probably needs work. Don't know if Force of Vigor is where you want to be. Maybe you want another Pyroclasm. Maybe you just want other cards in general. It's just kind of tough because you can't really play cards like Flusterstorm or just other typical counter spells that you might want. The only reason you can play Pyroblast is because if you Cascade into it, you can still kill stuff. Maybe we want more answers for Teferi Time Raveler, because that seems like a really bad card for the deck. But overall, the deck was sweet. Had a great time. Hope you enjoyed it. This is youtube.com/snapbolt. Thanks so much for watching. Till next time.